many of us, the goal is to lose body fat for a large percentage of the population. Um, I believe now the statistics are showing that over 50% of the population is actually overweight and obese. And so it's understandable that the goal is to lose weight, but you want to make sure that you're losing body fat. So one of the ways that you want to, or one of the things that you want to make sure that you incorporate is some sort of body fat testing. Now, a few of the gyms out there, they offer machines that include this, devices that include this, in-body scan, and then there's another one that's very similar. We even have forms of this that you can get, and I believe one is called Hume, if I'm not mistaken, and have as your own device that also checks your body fat along with some other components that are important. And the reason why that's important is because you want to see what your ratio of fat to muscle is. In contrast, the scale isn't going to tell you the breakdown of that. And so often I've seen over the period of years that I've been working with individuals that it's this connection to the scale and maybe this idea that if the number is going down, then you're healthy. But it is very possible, and nowadays it's very common with all the injections, the weight loss injections, that individuals are losing a significant amount of muscle, and the damage that does to the body, especially for those who are maybe in their 30s or above, where it's more difficult to be able to build muscle. We want to keep in mind that the muscle is just not for aesthetics, but it's for function. One of the most common accelerators of death after the age of 60 or 65 is a fall. And oftentimes these falls take place because the bones actually break. They don't have what they need in order to be able to just to support our daily activities. And so I know oftentimes as we increase with age, if maybe you have a grandmother or aunt that's been living 60 plus years, that we often say, well, okay, well, don't do much, sit down, slow down. But actually, it is the opposite that you want to do. You want to safely and effectively putting enough stress on that bone in order for you to be able to get stronger. And it's more important after the ages of 35 and above for individuals to really prioritize resistance training. We're looking at function. And so when it comes to gauging your health, using a scale is what you do not want to gauge it off of. You don't want to use that as a determining factor as to whether or not your program is efficient. You want to make sure that you're finding out and identifying in the beginning what your body fat percentage is. So resistance training, we know there's going to be a benefit to that, doing resistance training. And then on the other side of that is going to be putting in this proper nutrition. Now, the chemicals that are in refined food, they're going to degrade the bone. They won't give your body the supply it needs. And many of the chemicals will actually block your body from building and absorbing nutrients that's necessary. And so when you look at the goal of losing body fat, you have to take into consideration with whatever plan that you determine you're going to follow, or whatever drug you determine or injection you're going to follow, is this going to cause me to lose muscle, which in turn can cause you to weaken the bone. And so when you're losing that weight, but the weight is muscle, that's not a benefit. You're actually doing more harm than good. And so my encouragement to you today is to make sure that you're gauging what type of weight you're losing so that as your weight goes down or as your body changes, that you're not sacrificing muscle, which will then hurt you on the other end of that process. So I want you to have quality, not just a small body frame or not just a low number on the scale. And I know that's what you want as well. So hold on to that muscle, get a gauge on where your body's starting at, and then design your program and make sure that your program is supporting your muscle and allowing you to lose the fat and the other toxins in your body. So I hope that was helpful, you all. I'll talk to you later. Have a good day.